Hello, this is Tony Holland, founder and CEO of Global Premier Benefits and Integrity Company. I want to talk to you guys today about our basic principles in our organization in regards to the people that we serve. First and foremost, whether it's an agent, an agency partner, or a client, we're going to always, no matter what, we're going to do what's right by the client. There's no amount of money that we're going to sacrifice our integrity just to make a buck. You know, I think God will bless you in the long run. If you just do what's right by people, even if you got to walk away from a sale or walk away from an agent that you're trying to recruit, I'd rather keep my integrity intact and our team's integrity intact than just to do something that could jeopardize our license, jeopardize our business. I mean, there's a reason why we have an AM Best rating of A+. We've had that for many, many years. We've had a clean record for over 27 years. No issues with CMS, thank the good Lord. No issues with any state department of insurance. And that's because we do what's right up front. And when we teach our agents in terms of the process of doing what's right, the first thing you got to do is understand why you're in this business. You're in this business to change and save lives. These people are going through, you don't know what. They're going through a lot of challenges. They're going through issues in their life. They mail in a card or call in on a commercial, and they need somebody to help them. They raised their hand and mailed that card in for a reason. They're asking for somebody to help them. Could be their Medicare, could be their final expense, could be for financial planning with an annuity. They need your help. And the first thing we teach in our sales process, doing what's right by the client, number one, you got to be good at selling yourself. You got to be a lovable person. You got to be a likable person. You got to be there that you're going to change that person's life. You know, I always gave hugs to my clients when I walked in the door, and I always brought a little small gift. I gained credibility, let them know I was legitimate. I showed them my license, showed them my AHIP. You know, I wanted to make sure they know I was certified, you know, and let them know that they're dealing with someone that had their best interest at heart. Always do what's best for your client, or don't do it at all. Then I made sure I went over, you know, what the card was about. Just because a lot of these seniors don't know why they mailed something in. So I got to help them. Sometimes I got to reread the card and, you know, and make sure they understand, you know, the details of that card. If it was final expense, I'd go over that. Then I educate the client, you know, about whatever the topic is. About Medicare, I educate them on that. If it's about extra help, the LIS program through Social Security, I educate them on that. I think it's important that you educate your client up front and bring that value of education. Because a lot of these, you wouldn't believe how many seniors that are very, very well educated in their chosen profession, whether it's, you know, they're a forklift operator, they're a truck driver, a school teacher, or even a lawyer or doctor. I've got many clients that are lawyers and doctors. They may know their craft, but they don't know insurance or they don't know Medicare. So I want to bring them up to speed. It's much easier to make a sale, you know, and help a client once you've educated them first on a specific topic, okay? Then I qualify that client. I find out, you know, I want to make sure they qualify for the specific. They might not have money to be able to put an annuity, you know, or they qualify for a Medicare plan. What the person is, you know, 54 years old, doesn't have a Medicare and A and B card. Obviously, I can't cover, you know, a Medicare plan. They don't qualify yet. You know, but I do have things they do qualify for. So I think you got to qualify your client. Then the fifth part is getting into the needs analysis. You got to make sure you're doing a proper needs analysis. So I do what's called a 60-second checkup, which I'm going to ask some questions about, you know, where they are in terms of their Medicare, where they are in terms of their insurance, what type of final expense they have, what type of pre-need planning they've done, do they have a will, are they, you know, do they have money in a CD? What are they looking to do? What can I do to help them? Do they qualify for extra help? Do they qualify for maybe an SPAT program through the state that they live in? So I'm going to ask these probing questions to ultimately find a solution to the problem. In many cases, a lot of seniors will mail that card in for something different, and through your needs analysis, you find out they need something else. And there's many cases that they didn't need anything at all to do with extra help. They didn't qualify, but yet they needed help with their Medicare. Yet they also had, you know, a need for an extra $10,000 to $15,000 in final expense. And there's so many agents I've found out leave so much business on the table because they don't do a proper needs analysis, you know, to find out exactly. I mean, you're an insurance agent. I mean, that's part of your job. If you pass the life and health exam, part of your job is to do a proper needs analysis. You know, to make sure you're reviewing all their insurance that you're qualified to present. So I tell them, this is my job, Ms. Jones. You might be well covered, but I just need to make sure while I'm here today, and I go through a series of questions just to make sure they're good. And if they're not good, I'm going to help them get good. That's what I'm going to do. So the next question people ask me, Tony, well, how you go about meeting the clients, and exceeding their expectations? I'm going to tell you something. I'm a customer too. We're all customers, right? We've all had people, salespeople in our lives. To meet my expectations, just be honest with me. Just be honest. I'll do business with you if I need what you. Just be honest with me. I want to tell you where I'm hurting. I'm going to tell you what I need. Help me with it, but be honest about it. If you can't help me, find a way to help me, okay? Get me to somebody that can. I think people just want to know that you're honest and upfront. And I always tell people, give value up front. They talk about value propositions. Give value up front. So I do research on my client before I even go out to the house. I make sure I understand through my probing questions over the phone. I want to make sure I have their doctors in place. It depends on the product, but I want to do my research on the community, what their needs are. I make sure I build value before I even walk in the door and how I'm going to be able to help and service them. Like I've said in many talks before, this is not a transactional business for me. I'm building a relationship. I want to know their children, their grandchildren. I want to be part of the family. I want to get it. And by the way, if you don't get invited to their next picnic or Thanksgiving dinner, you're not doing what's right by the client. I'm going to tell you that. And that's my objective. I even tell them, I want to be invited to your next picnic or Thanksgiving day party. I want to be here for you guys. I'm going to be part of this family, just like their doctor would, or the lawyer or CPA. I want to be part of the family. And, I'm going to share a story with you guys of, doing it the right way and how it can pay off dividends. I was working with, a lead. I got a lead card twice from this guy. His name was Dr. Reverend James Gray. He sat in 2 cars and gave me a battle on the phone, said, no, I'm not interested, and no, I don't want anything to do with it. So he sent in another card. I can't believe the same man a month later sent in the card. Those seniors keep mailing those cards. And so I called the next time. I was smart. I asked for his wife, because on our lead cards, we asked for the husband and the wife on the card. So I asked for Miss Mary. Went out and talked to Miss Mary on the phone. I said, Miss Mary, I really want to meet your husband, but he won't give me the time of day because he's so busy. She said. I said, well, when is he home? Because I just wanted to meet him and introduce myself and let him know that I'm not doing anything but try to help him and service him and give him what he could. But he's mailed 3 cards to me now about this final expense program. So. Long story short, she gave me the appointment. She says, all right, stop by 7 a.m. on Saturday. He's home, but you better catch him early because we're going to head out to that church. He lives at that church. I went out there, and he had this big old sign up. It said, beware a dog. And as soon as I put my foot on that step, he came running out. Boy, what you doing here? Can't you read that sign? It says, beware a dog. Get off my property. And I was like, sir, I'm just here to help you. Mail me these 3 cards about this program. I'm here to help you. And, I know I spoke to you like a couple weeks ago, and I told you if you can't stick it, put that in the mail. I'm not interested. I said, listen, I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to make a difference. I said, let me tell you how this program works. I don't want to hear nothing. He got on the phone and started calling 911. I said, okay, let me back off. I said, listen, I just want to do what's right by you, sir. I said, but we have some great programs. I told him as I was walking off his porch. Actually, he was kind of pushing me off the porch. I said, listen, we got a great program that I can do to help you and your church. We have a program that helps with discount vision, prescription, hearing, and in dental. We got a program with mortgage assistance. And it's a no-cost program. It's something that we do to try to help people. I told him about, how to tithe. And that got his interest. He said, tithing? What do you know about tithing? And I showed him in the Bible where 10% go about. He goes, boy, get in that house. I want to hear about this program. And so I told him, long story short, I got the whole church and went out there, and man, they got down, man. I grew up Catholic, and in a Catholic church, we had a wafer and a sip of wine. And, I was like blown away. It was a Southern Baptist. They had a bass player at the church and a drummer going to town. They had an organist playing their thing. And I'm like, man, I was grooving. They had a lady. She got up. She's about 300 pounds, and she was just feeling something going on. She was moving and got up on the stage and started wiggling on the stage. I was like, what the heck's going on? So I went up, thought she was having a seizure. The people pulled me off her and said, no, she's feeling the spirit. I'm like, feeling the spirit? I knew she was feeling something. I know it's a spirit. But that was an amazing experience, man. That's one of the reasons why I love doing grassroots. I love to see how other people worship. And when I went out to see that church and, I was able to help people. And that end result, matter of fact, he said no, right? And he invited me over to the rectory. And man, They had a spread like you wouldn't believe. I thought it was like a Thanksgiving feast. Man, they had all kinds of greens. They had collard greens, spinach greens, turnip greens, this green. They had all kinds of mashed potatoes and you name it. They had all kinds of ham, honey ham, mustard ham, spiced ham, and we ate like kings and queens. And then they gave me a chance to present the group. And long story short, I picked up 80 enrollments out of that church that Sunday and got even more out of that church on other visits. And the end of that story is 6 months later, Pastor Gray gives me a call because I did what's right for him. Okay. He ended up taking out a plan with me and his wife and his daughter that lived there and brother-in-law. He had no insurance. He was, by the way, told me he worked for 22 years at North Carolina Mutual, had all his insurance, but he let it all lapse. And even his wife, Mary, came out of the kitchen when they were making me breakfast when I was at the house. She's like, he doesn't have no insurance. I told him to get it from you when you were out here 6 months ago. And he was like, woman, get back in that kitchen and fix that man some breakfast. So that's a great story. You know, I kind of walked away from it. I wasn't pushy with the guy, but I, let him know the things I can do with other products and programs I had, how it would benefit the church. The end result, I made 80 enrollments on a Sunday. I was about 32,000 in commissions, and I became a blessing in that church and got many more sales out of that church that, I was full all year long. I've done as many as 1,000 sales in 1 year by doing that approach. And, and some people also say, well, on the flip side, Tony, I've seen a lot of companies out there do the wrong way. A lot of these call centers out there, and I don't want to mention the commercials. I don't want to disparage anybody. Y'all have seen them. But they're putting people in Medicare Advantage plans, and people don't even qualify. They're talking about, how they can get the buyback down. And it's like, you don't even qualify for that, or the plan's not even available in their state or in their county. And it's sad. And they take them out of one plan and put them in something else. In many cases, I've seen them take them out of their plan that they already have at their job, and in cases the senior can't get back into it if they opted out, and it's sad. And that ends up turning into a complaint with CMS, a complaint with their Department of Insurance. And to me, if that person just would have done what's right, maybe walked away from that sale, or maybe put them into a med sup, or maybe put them in all they needed was just a dental, but they didn't do a proper needs analysis. They were looking out for what was best for them. They had to make their commission for that week or hit their sales goal for that week, and they put some old lady in the wrong Medicare Advantage plan. That's just wrong. And by the way, there's a reason why CMS is there, to stop that kind of nonsense from happening. It happens by the thousands. It happens way too often. That's why now CMS requires, and we've always been doing it, but CMS requires you now to record every call, from start to finish. And you submit that with the application. We've always done this. We've always had that in place, but that came about because of all these horror stories of agents, these call center agents doing the wrong thing to make a buck or hit their sales goal for the week versus doing what's right. So, when you join Global Premier Benefits, that's one thing for sure. We're going to do what's right, or we're not going to do it at all. And we're going to train you right. We're going to work with you right. Whether you're an agent or an agency director, we're going to make sure you're treated right. We invest our people day one. We make sure we have great leads, great co-op, great services. We even get this $1,000 referral fee for recruiting. So if you bring 10 people, 30 people, or 400 people to our organization, we're going to pay you $1,000 for recruiting people to the company. And if you want to learn more or talk to me one-on-one, I'm there for you. Probably one of the only IMOs in the country that does this. I'll give you my personal cell phone number. It's 443-253-3634. You can text or call me anytime. I prefer texting, by the way, because a lot of times I'm in meetings or en route somewhere. But text me. I will promise to get back to you by the end of the day and help you with whatever you need. Again, that's 443-253-3634. Looking forward to speaking to you soon. Hope this helped in terms of doing what's right by the client. May God continue to bless you in all you do. Go out there and change and save lives. Thank you.